If I had to diagnose the biggest problem that our city faces, it is that we are a big city that too often acts like a small town.
That's Todd Gloria speaking at a mayoral candidate debate in 2019. Big city thinking was the central theme of his campaign, and a big part of that was making the city less dependent on cars, the city's largest source of greenhouse gas emissions.
I'm the guy who wrote the climate action plan. Now I'm running to be mayor to be the guy who implements the climate action plan.
But just how far is Gloria willing to go for that goal? Part of the answer could be on Park Boulevard in Balboa Park, where the city is preparing to replace an underground water main. After that's done and the street is resurfaced, city officials want to redesign it.
Increase safety for all road users is one of our primary goals.
Everett Hauser is a program manager in the city's transportation department. He says giving a dedicated lane to public transit on Park Boulevard would help the buses stay on time.
This area is right smack in the urban core and serves, a lot of people. It's some of the highest used bus routes in the city. So increasing that efficiency just makes transit use a more attractive option for people to get around.
A protected bike lane would make the street much safer and more accessible for people who bike, especially the most vulnerable, children, seniors, and people with disabilities.
People need to feel safe with being able to bike.
Madison Coleman is a policy advocate for the nonprofit Climate Action Campaign. On a short bike ride up and down Park Boulevard, where bikes currently share a lane with cars, it didn't take long for things to feel unsafe. A driver in a sports car zooms past us well above the posted speed limit, which is already 40 miles per hour. Coleman and other environmental advocates want the mayor to add both bus and bike lanes to Park Boulevard.
So it's really, really important for him to stand up and be the model for the region to create really safe and efficient other transportation opportunities for people to feel like they can not rely on their cars as much as they probably do right now.
Here's the catch. To add a bus and bike lane, the street would have to sacrifice a travel lane for cars and on-street parking, which is about 4% of the area's total parking. Peter Comiskey is executive director of the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership, which represents the park's attractions. He says removing parking to add bus and bike lanes will make the park less accessible.
Most of our visitors to the park, some 90% of people coming to the park, or over that on most days, would be coming in vehicles. And they're often coming in groups, very often families. Those families aren't able to use rideshare. Those are not solutions for them.
The city is studying other options that would preserve street parking at the expense of bike and transit riders. But Comiskey says he doesn't like those options either. He wants the city to finish a mobility and parking management study first.
Historically, a lot of solutions that are forced into the park are done so because they're done in a very piecemeal and reactive way, instead of having a really solid strategic approach.
Meanwhile, the city's own measurements show it's behind on switching commutes away from cars, and the bus and bike lanes on Park Boulevard can happen for virtually no additional cost to the pipeline replacement project. Again, here's Mayor Gloria speaking as a candidate in 2019.
When we have these fights about bike lanes and pedestrian improvements, this is often about a can of paint and the ability to just move forward with leadership. We have an adopted bicycle master plan that isn't always faithfully implemented. We're going to start supporting public transit and active transportation because it's critical to the future of our quality of life.
Thank you.
Whichever design the mayor selects, Park Boulevard is set to be restriped by December. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.